This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. Tasmania's growing pains have been a major topic on the election trail today, with parties pledging solutions for our booming population. Labor today announcing a Northwest package to capitalise on the rising demand, while the Liberals are rolling out further tax breaks.
The Premier's been keen to boost the state's population, but he'll need to be on the tools to keep up with the rising demand. Today, pledging a 3-year land tax break for newly built properties if they're made available as long-term rentals.
That will encourage investors to build properties that must be available in the rental market for a 12-month period.
The benefit is an estimated $2,000 over that period of time. So you can see there is an incentive there.
Whether it's going to help ease an immediate squeeze on the rental market is uncertain. A call for Sydney-siders to Tasmania could only tighten that squeeze, but the industry is confident it's the best problem to have.
It's not an overnight fix, but it takes about 18 months to bring land to market and then to the keys to the front door. So, look, these announcements are very important for our industry.
It's fairly redundant having a target for growth if you're not investing in the infrastructure that supports that.
Community groups pushing for a voice in a new campaign launch.
They want a development like New South Wales coast here.
Focusing on the interim statewide planning scheme, it's calling for benchmarks to be set in delivering future development.
Those state policies will help set the future strategic direction of the state so we can grow and we can prosper, but we're doing it in a sensible way.
Labor hoping to lure more people to the Northwest, a $150 million package promising training, jobs and infrastructure upgrades.
Having a productive society depends upon people being well, having a good education, having access to affordable housing.
It's important for government to have population growth strategies to deal with the growth in population through policies such as the ones we've announced this week.
A vision for the future among a flood of election promises. Jacqui, Robson, Southern Cross News.
Will Hodgman's Chief of Staff has revealed he will step down from his role following the state election. Brad Stansfield posted his planned departure on social media late this afternoon. Mr Stanfield says he spoke with the Premier late last year about moving on before agreeing to stay to support the government's re-election. He says it's been a privilege to hold the role, pledging to work tirelessly for the remaining 23 days of the campaign. In an overnight political showdown, Jacqui Lambie has kicked incoming Tasmanian Senator Steve Martin out of her party. It means Mr Martin will now go into the Senate as an independent, while Ms Lambie says she is now hungrier than ever to get back to Canberra.
From a dual citizenship saga to another kind of duel, the sword's now drawn between Jacqui Lambie and Steve Martin.
I think the whole thing's a joke. Pathetic.
Overnight, Ms Lambie announced she's expelled Mr Martin from her party. It came just hours after the Devonport Mayor confirmed he's accepting her Senate seat, which he'll be sworn into on Monday.
I'm quite excited about the prospects of getting on with the job, working for the best things that we can produce for Tasmania.
But while Ms Lambie, who resigned due to dual citizenship, gave Mr Martin her blessing 4 months ago, now she's not a fan. She was hoping Mr Martin would stand aside so she could possibly return. He didn't, and now Ms Lambie has booted him out of her network. The former senator wouldn't speak on camera today, but in her letter to Mr Martin wrote, "The network prides itself on mateship, respect and integrity. I don't believe your actions have been keeping with these." Ms Lambie also claiming Mr Martin won't retain her staff. The incoming senator says he's shocked by the decision, but will take the seat as an independent.
Jacqui resigned from the Senate and left the vacancy there, and I'm just filling in for it after the recount.
I think it may be a bit of a low act.
Well, she initially invited him onto the team, and now he's turned around and stabbed her in the back by taking the seat.
The fallout comes as Southern Cross News has obtained a letter from Jacqui Lambie's state election Lions candidate Michael Kent about his position on pokies. In it, he states while he broadly supports Ms Lambie's policy principles, he doesn't consider himself bound by every decision she and her party takes. That's raised questions about whether her candidates will actually represent her or themselves.
If people look at the sort of political sideshow that we're now seeing with the Jacqui Lambie network, you'll expect to see more of that.
I don't think the Jacqui Lambie network's particularly organised. They haven't shown very good discipline this state election campaign.
And while Ms Lambie continues to focus on the state election campaign, she says she'll be fighting to win back a Senate seat next federal election. Monica Dadson, Southern Cross News.
A male cyclist who was out riding on the Bass Highway near Somerset this morning has died. Police say the cyclist was riding west around 7:10 when a Volvo truck turning out of Mackay's Road collided with him.
The cyclist, what from early indications we can see, was in the sealed shoulder. It's still early in the investigations. Certainly all pieces will be put together and witnesses will be spoken to, so they are continuing. I can't give an indication at this stage whether charges will or will not be laid.
The truck driver, who was the only person in the vehicle, was shaken but not injured. Police are reminding drivers and cyclists to be aware of others using the roads, especially when turning. The man's age and name are yet to be released. Anyone who witnessed the collision is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. A Kui woman has had a lucky escape after the house she was living in caught fire. Smoke and flames were billowing from the garage of this Saundridge Road property when crews arrived around 7 last night. It took firefighters 40 minutes to bring the blaze under control. Today, investigators determined items placed on top of a working hot plate caused the fire. The resident escaped uninjured because of working smoke alarms. Damage has been estimated at $350,000. A man is facing trial charged with the arson of a North Hobart mental health facility in 2016. The Supreme Court hearing from a nurse who allegedly witnessed David Leslie Chandler pouring accelerant around the reception area with a lighter in his hand. She said she escaped with another staff member and watched black smoke billowing from the building. His treating psychiatrist told the court Mr Chandler had personality issues and an alcohol problem. Mr Chandler has pleaded not guilty. The trial over a man who allegedly bashed his friend to death during an altercation in the Central Highlands has continued in Hobart today. The court heard the 000 call, with the accused saying he had no choice but to kill his friend in self-defence.
The details of an alleged Central Highlands murder playing out at Hobart Supreme Court today. In June 2016, co-workers Russell Nawazinski and then 39-year-old Donald William Crowe were on a shack trip. A fight breaking out as the pair were driving on a remote road at Interlaken. Today, the frantic 000 call from the accused was played to the jury. Russell Nawazinski telling the operator, "My friend is dead because I killed him because he tried to kill me," and that he did everything possible to get away from him, including poking his eyes, putting gravel in his face and getting on top of him. The arresting officer taking the witness stand, saying Mr Nawazinski was acting in a very quiet and calm manner and that he had said to him Mr Crowe was a psycho and that he did what he had to do. Family of Mr Crowe sitting through video evidence, visibly distressed when his body was shown to the court. The trial is set to hear from more witnesses and is expected to continue until late next week. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Tasmania Fire Service crews have been called to a hazmat issue at the day surgery area of the Royal Hobart Hospital. Crews conducted air monitoring after a strong odour was detected in the area. The minor incident has been contained and there is no threat to public safety. Liverpool Street was closed off to traffic but has since been reopened. After 18 months of construction, the new Nigel Peck Centre has opened at Woolmers Estate in Longford. The $5 million project is considered to be a modern focal point for the historic site.
Once a home for convicts, this site now holds a new cultural hub. Named after the late Nigel Peck, who was the great-great-grandson of Thomas Archer, the man who built Woolmers in the early 1800s. This modern addition is regarded to be a centrepiece of the estate.
It's a World Heritage Site. and we're making something special of a World Heritage Site.
Inside is a high-end restaurant with space for large functions, plus a series of artwork from the colonial era. Today is opening a touching moment for Nigel Peck's son, seeing his late father's last mark realised.
This was quite close to his heart. I think this is the last thing he contribute any money to.
The Woolmers Foundation says this new centre is crucial to keeping the estate afloat by drawing in more visitors more frequently.
People who've come here once and seen through the house and the rose garden tend to, and all the other heritage buildings, tend to say, well, I've seen Woolmers, but we'll be saying, no, you haven't seen half of it yet. The other half is what will be available in the visitor centre. Various exhibitions are scheduled for the centre during the year. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
Shy albatross chicks have settled into more than 100 artificial nests on the Albatross Island in what conservationists hope will boost their population. The specially built man-made nests were airlifted last year to the island to help the vulnerable species increase their breeding.
The natural nests are starting to deteriorate. It rains a lot here, it's windy, and we know that the highest quality nests have the highest breeding success. So with our artificial nests, we're hoping to get more chicks being successfully raised and eventually fledging.
They were put in places where the birds' nests were poor quality. Shy albatross are native to Australia and only nest on 3 islands off the coast of Tasmania. Tasmania's mountain biking sector has received another boost with upgrades unveiled at the Clarence mountain bike park. It includes a new variable course designed for all levels, giving emerging riders the chance to build their skills.
Ripping up the tracks today, riders testing out the new offerings on Hobart's eastern shore. Upgrades boosting the total length of tracks to 40 kilometres.
We're really excited about that because while this project's been going on and the park's been developing for many, many years, the new recent interest right across the state in mountain biking has really given it a shot in the arm.
The new developments include some more extreme technical features at a skills park, with jumps, wall rides and a whale tail.
I'd have to say that the whale tail is probably a favourite feature. Still one of the ones that I'm a bit nervous on hitting, but the wall ride would have to probably take the cake for sheer enjoyment because it's you get a lot of bang for buck. You feel like you're a pro when you hit it. So
the tracks also give less advanced riders options to divert around parts of the course, allowing them to slowly build up skills and confidence.
In order to build up your skills, you do need something like this skills park. So you can take the easy lines, get comfortable and confident doing some of the smaller jumps, and then you can progress up onto the harder jumps.
The project has been made possible with assistance from the Tasmanian Community Fund. And it's not the last of the developments, with work underway on stage 2 of the skills park. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
A field day for hemp producers and potential growers, learning about the industry and its brand. With Tasmania already a major hemp producer, industry experts say the amount grown is expected to quadruple and span more than 2,000 hectares by 2021.
Scattered among the hemp fields, closely examining their seeds. Here at a hemp production site, keen to learn about the industry from the experts.
This whole field day type concept is to get people to see it firsthand and talk to the growers who've planted it and understand the trials and tribulations as well as the successes they've had.
The day hoping to get more producers on board to build the hemp seed food market.
I would like to see more growers showing a bit of interest because that's really where we want to focus in getting the industry up and running.
Tasmania can grow a very good quality hemp because I think we're in the beginning of understanding how to grow this with a very limited input of chemicals.
Those in the industry say hemp seeds are rich in protein and an excellent source of omega-3, also describing the plants as easy to grow.
Good bottom line for their income, and it's a good crop to grow. It's very friendly to the earth as well as rotation crop, but more importantly it's competitive with other crops that they're growing here in Tasmania.
Since November last year, hemp can be legally sold as food, a major breakthrough for Tasmanian farmers who have been battling to change the law for decades.
It's reinvigorated the whole industry in Tasmania, and it's got everyone excited about what sort of future it holds for us now that we've crossed that major hurdle.
Tasmania is the largest producer of hemp seed in the country. Rita Risk, Southern Cross News.
The Tasmanian Museum and Art Gallery has put a new collection on display thanks to some generous donors. Horizon will go on show to the public tomorrow, displaying 23 artworks gifted by Anna and Richard Green. The exhibition featuring mostly modern Australian art.
The contribution of these works into our collection will really help build the strength of our Australian art collection here at the Tasmanian Museum and Art Gallery.
A total of 73 artworks will be donated from the private collection over the next 5 years. Now a look at the day's business and finance news with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. The Australian share market has turned around a weak start to end the day higher as bargain hunters bought stocks beaten up in Monday and Tuesday's plunge. The ASX 200 index rose 13.9 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 78.23 US cents and 85.71 Japanese yen.
A short time ago, Tasmania was 2 for 60 after bowling out Queensland on the opening day of their Sheffield Shield clash. Gabe Bell and Sam Rainbird took 6 wickets between them at the Gabba, with the Bulls ending their innings all out for 255. Simon Malenko also made his mark, taking 2 for 64. It's Tasmania's first Sheffield Shield match since early December. Play continues tomorrow. Teenage ace Jamie Fawless has been eliminated from the Launceston International. The up-and-coming star fell to fellow teenager Alexandra Bozovic in 3 sets. In other games, Burnie International winner Stefan Robert has bowed out to Aussie Bradley Mousley, while Andrew Harris hung on in a fiery clash against Andrew Whittington. Centre Court hosted a second-round thriller after easily winning the first set. Andrew Whittington went down in the second after throwing away 2 match points in a tie-break. In the decider, he was hungry to get the job done. Up 3 games to love, Whittington seemed to have the upper hand, but Andrew Harris had other ideas, clawing the contest back to 4-all. Both players showed signs of frustration, boiling over into arguments with officials. The contest raged on, going to a tie-break to decide the match. Here, Harris settled, taking the tie 7-4 to advance to the quarter-final.
He was just making me play the extra shot and I was just missing that last one, but I didn't feel like I was playing badly. So I just stuck to my game plan and just tightened up a little bit, and then things started turning for me. In the women's action, the current Australian under-18s champion Jamie Fawless has been knocked out by qualifier Alexandra Bozovic. Fawless was in top form during a dominant second set, but she faded late in the piece to hand 18-year-old Bozovic a place in the second round. The clash lasting just shy of 2 hours.
Good evening. Hobart, 21 degrees today. Launceston and Devonport recorded 26, while Burnie's 28 was the warmest for the state today. A few light morning showers over the north and east cleared fairly quickly to pave the way for another fine day. Bit of cloud still. Smithton and Cressy 27 degrees, Low Head 26, Ouse and Flinders Island 25, Friendly Beaches and King Island 24, Campania and Strawn 23 degrees, St Helens 22 and Lyowini 21. A long middle-level cloud band extends from southern Western Australia through the Great Australian Bight and to our east. Scattered convective cloud with thunderstorms is over the far northwest of the country, and the rest of the nation is fairly clear. Cloud cover over most of the state today, a few breaks over the north. Tomorrow, a cold front moves over the Tasman Sea as a weak high establishes over Tasmania. A high-pressure ridge is evident over the eastern seaboard. The wind south-east nor'easterly at 5 to 15 knots, lighter winds inland and afternoon sea breezes at 10 to 20 knots. And for tomorrow, a shower or two clearing from Hobart, 16 overnight, 23 the top, 24 for Huonville and Campania with a shower in the morning, maybe. Possible shower developing also for Launceston, 27 the top, 24 for Devonport, a shower or two maybe for Georgetown and 25 degrees. We keep guessing, 24 and possibly a shower for Burnie, 24 also for Strawn and Wynyard. And for the east, a shower or two. St Helens 22 along with Swansea, 21 the top for Port Arthur. UV as low as 7 in Hobart, which is high, and very high 10s elsewhere. On Saturday, showers over the north extending statewide by afternoon. On Hobart Cup Day, we may see an early shower over the west and south and a shower later over the east. And on Monday, a shower over the west, south and east, contracting to the east later in the evening. Mostly sunny in Perth tomorrow, another hot day for Adelaide, 29 in Melbourne and humid. A little cloud forecast for Canberra and Sydney, but mostly sunny and 31 in Brisbane.
That's all from the newsroom for now. Thanks so much for your company. We'll see you a little later with updates. Bye-bye.